This is Tom Aspray with the Viper Report. In today's video, I'm going to take a look at pivot analysis. I recently published an article on yearly pivot analysis, which many readers found quite interesting. This chart is from Stock Charts. Let me tell you how it works. So this is looking at the price action in 2018 and 2019. This solid line is the pivot. Now that level is based on the price activity, in this case, in the prior year. One of the reasons I like pivot analysis, it gives you support and resistance levels you don't get through moving averages, Bollinger Bands, and other methods. So these numbers are derived from the yearly range in 2018. So the pivot level here was overcome in January of 2019. Remember, we had a huge decline, in 2018. So when it's above the pivot, that's a positive sign. We had a rally that was up. There's two lines above, R1 and R2. And there's two lines below, S1 and S2. So we rallied up above the R1 resistance, pulled back in June of 2019, had another nice rally, came back into August. Remember, that was when all the tariffs talk were instituted and the market was under pressure, held right at this pivot level. So as long as you keep above the pivot levels, that puts your next target at the R2, which was hit before the end of the year. Of course, this pivot analysis works on individual stocks. This is a chart of Amazon with the pivot levels in 2019 and 2020. So in 2019, we hit the R2 resistance there at point A and then turned lower for the rest of the year. And early in 2020, we exceeded the R1 at point B, dropped back below the pivot, so that was negative. Got down to the S1 at the March lows, point C, and then it was back to the upside. We quickly moved back above the pivot here, above R1, above R2, and it was off to the races. The analysis of SPY in 2020 has been also quite interesting. We started off the year well above the yearly pivot, didn't make it quite to the R1. We plunged here at point A. In February, we dropped below the yearly pivot, dropped sharply for the next 4 weeks, cut right through the S1 support. At point B, we just barely dropped below the S2, which was at 216.19. The numbers are up here. In Stock Charts, they give you the data up here in this line, so I've expanded it. So the pivot was at 292. Point C, we moved back above 292, so the trend was back to positive. We hit the R1 in September before the market pulled back. The R1 was 242.79, and then by the end of the year we exceeded the R2 resistance, which is at 369.09. Of course, I do use the monthly and quarterly pivot analysis in my writing and recommendations. This is a recommendation from Monday. In TripAdvisor, it looked quite good after last week, and I had two buy levels. Remember, the stock market was down sharply last Monday, over 700 points, I think, in the Dow at one point. Got as low as 28.03. The monthly pivot was at 28.32. This red bar here, the blue arrow, that's where we bought. Both of our buy levels were hit. It was a little lower early Tuesday, and it's been off to the races. We sold half the position today for over an 18% profit. You can see the technical indicators supported our buy recommendations. This is the relative performance, showing that it was starting to outperform the S&P over a week ago. And also the OBV was positive and turning higher. You can see the volume and the rally was very nice. This is a good example of what buying near the pivot when the positive technical readings. You can see we sold out just below the R2 resistance level. Probably could still go higher, but if we get that quick a profit in a short period of time, we generally take it and let the rest of it ride. We'll adjust the stop so that we'll have a break even on the remaining position. So even if we get stopped out, we're still up 18% on the trade. A number of markets hit pivot support this week. You can see this is the SPY. Had a low on Monday of 364.82, and the pivots, the S1 was at 365.51, and it hit 380 on Friday's session. Technical studies are positive. Some of you may have listened to my stuff over a week ago. The AD line broke out to a new high a week ago Thursday, and that was a sign that the market was ready again to move higher. I hope you all sign up for me for the Wealth 365 presentation on January 22nd in the morning. Those who do sign up with me will get another article on pivot point analysis so you can understand it. I can show you how it's applied to any type of markets. And also I'll be doing some follow-up presentations by invitation only on pivot analysis after my presentation. So you'll get an invite to those also if you sign up with us, and the link is in the email. Of course, if you want specific advice on buying ETFs or stocks, you can go to the Viper report and click on Viper ETF report. It'll take you to this page and show you how you can sign up. Just $34.95 per month. You also get 6 trading lessons, 1 on quarterly pivot analysis, and you can cancel online yourself at any time. Or if you want stock advice, click on the Viper Hot Stocks, and you'll explain what the stock service is and how it can help you. In the past several weeks, I've taught a number of people about pivot analysis and other technical methods, so we still have a 90-minute training session. If you want to learn more about technical analysis, it'll explain some of the things that are mentioned on the website. And if you have questions about it, you can email me at tom@viperreport.com. Well, I hope you found this information beneficial, and if you'd like to see more videos, they can be found on the YouTube Viper Report page. Thank you. In my contribution to Forbes.com, there is a link in the email, as I mentioned earlier. I give you the projections for 4 key ETFs: the DIA, which tracks the Dow Jones Industrial Average; IWM, which tracks the Russell 2000 ETF; the QQQ, which tracks the NASDAQ 100; and the SPY, which tracks the S&P 500. Shows you the ranges from last year, as well as the 2021 pivot, the S1, and the R1. So I hope you find this information beneficial.